Compound interest. See, before we go into this topic, we need to know what simple interest is. For example, if you have rupees 100 as principal and you lend it to somebody for a time period of 3 years. At simple interest, say rate is 10%. Now, what will be the amount you pay after 3 years? First of all, we calculate simple interest. Simple interest is equals to principal into rate into time upon 100. So, accordingly, it will be principal into rate into time upon 100. So, at the end of 3 years, you owe an interest of 30 rupees and your amount will be principal plus simple interest. So our principal was 100 and simple interest is rupees 30. So we will pay back an amount of 130 rupees. Now for the same criteria, if we talk about compound interest, so it is like paying interest on interest. For example, my principal was rupees 100. For the first year I paid an interest of 10% and my amount became 100 plus 10 equals to 110 rupees. Now this was for the first year. For the second year, my principal changes from 100 to rupees 110 and now I have to pay interest on this 110 for a rate of 10% and this time my amount will be 110 plus 10% of this, which is 11, and it will be 121 rupees. See, initially my principal was 100. Now for the second year my principal became 110. Now for the third year my principal will change to 121 and if I pay 10%, the amount will be 121 plus 10% will be 12.10 and finally my amount will be 133.10 rupees. So the compound interest will be amount minus principal 33.10. Now we can compare. Initially the simple interest was rupees 30. Simple interest was rupees 30 and compound interest is 33.10. So definitely for the same principal, same time period and same rate of interest, compound interest is greater than simple interest. Always. It is same for the first year, but thereafter it starts increasing because we are paying interest on interest. The interest of the previous year is being added to the principal and then the interest is calculated for the next year. Now to avoid this mess, we have a simple formula for compound interest. Like we have the formula amount is equals to principal into 1 plus rate percent upon 100 raised to t, where A is the amount, P is the principal, and R is the rate, and T is the time. Now, this thing I could have calculated directly with this formula. My principal was 100, rate was 10%. Can you see? Principal is 100, rate is 10%, time is 3 years. So rate is 10%, time is 3 years. Now if I just resolve this formula, I get the amount. I'm going to get the amount directly here. Amount is equals to, you just take LCM, you get 110 upon 100 raised to 3. We just open this cube, 100 into 110 upon 100 into 110 upon 100 into 110 upon 100. So I'm going to cancel out these two zeros here, this 0 with this with this, and this with this, and I multiply it. Then I get 1331 upon 10. So finally my amount is 133.10. As you can see here also, with successive addition I got the same amount. This was my amount. And here also with this single formula I lead to this amount. And compound interest is always amount minus principal. So 133.10. We always take two places of decimal when we talk about rupees because paise are in two places of decimal. So minus 100, and I get compound interest equal to 33.10. Just look at it. Amount is equals to principal into 1 plus rate upon 100 raised to t. A is the amount, P is the principal, R is the rate, T is the time. Now I put this information here in the formula. My principal was rupees 100, rate was 10%, time was 3 years. I just took the LCM and added. I got 110 in the numerator. Cube, just open the cube, 100 into 110 upon 100, 110 upon 100, 110 upon 100, 3 times. Just cancel out the zeros, 2 here, 1 here, 1 here, and I get 11 into 11 into 11, which leads 1331, and denominator I just have a 10. Putting on the decimal places, amount is equals to 133.10. Compound interest is amount minus principal, so amount minus principal, I get the compound interest equal to 33.10 rupees.